Welcome into another NFL Draft Player Spotlight. Locked On NFL Draft coverage is presented by Ultimate Football GM. You think you can run an NFL franchise? Well, prove it by visiting ultimate-gm.com to play the Ultimate NFL GM simulation game. Start your dynasty today. I'm Kainani Stevens. Zach Sako from Locked On Nittany Lions with us today as we're going to go over some of the projected draft picks for the NFL. So we've got to talk Joey Porter Jr. because obviously the name alone brings up NFL to your mind. So what is the junior version going to bring to the NFL team that drafts him?
Quite a bit from the way his dad played. I mean, his dad, I think, was a little more, I don't know what I want to say emotional, more like
Right.
passionate. But Joey Porter Jr. definitely emulates that, but I think in his own way. So I don't want people to assume that he's just a mirror image of his dad in the
Right.
cornerback. He definitely plays with a lot of passion. He's physical. You're getting a 6'2" cornerback. You're getting someone that is physical, is a press type of player in an NFL that has gone obviously a lot more offense. You can't be as handsy at the line of scrimmage, but Joey Porter Jr. has found a way to master that where he can get your hands on opposing wide receivers. He can be physical with them, and it's almost like an art because you see cornerbacks that press, and it's like, well, they're going to get flagged with a holding penalty. But Joey Porter Jr. Is just that. It's that right balance of I can be physical. I'm going to play stronger than you. I'm going to play tougher than you, but I'm also going to do it with a type of finesse that's not going to get called for anything egregious.
Is it, you don't want to say it's entirely from the family. I'm sure he's gotten this from his dad, but also playing at Penn State. Is that work ethic there, kind of working through anything that, he maybe didn't have at the beginning of his college career to get to the point he is at now? Is that something that he can take to the next level and really help him develop?
I mean, he's always getting better because originally, when he was a younger player, when he was a sophomore, he was getting flagged quite a bit for undisciplined plays, whether it was after the whistle, whether it was in the moment, a pass interference. That as a Penn State fan, you might say, "Oh, the ref's just throwing a flag." That's it. 50-50 call, but Joey Porter Jr. definitely scaled that back in the past season for 2022, where he wasn't getting flagged as often. It's still there, and Joey Porter Sr. Definitely had his fair share of those types of flags in the NFL. But the game has certainly changed a lot since Joey Porter played. Now Joey Porter Jr. is he's adapted well, and he always has. And you've seen that progression. So there's no doubt in my mind that when he gets to the NFL, I have my preference of which teams should take him because he's a prototypical type of cornerback when it comes to the physicality and the press. There's other teams that would draft him based on the systems that they run that I don't know that he would be the best fit in, but I still think he'd make the most of it. I just think he can maximize his potential with certain NFL teams as opposed to others.
Do you see him as an impact if he's in the right situation? Do you see him as someone that can start day one and have an impact in the NFL, or do you see him more as starting out kind of learning from some of those around him and then kind of earning his way in?
Absolutely. If he goes, I mean, he's a first round pick for a reason. He's
Yeah.
not going to fall out of the first round. You draft somebody in the first round, especially in the top 20, because they are going to be an instant impact player. They might not necessarily be a starter, but they're going to get starter like reps and be counted
Mhm.
upon. And that's what Joey Porter Jr. is, along with a handful of other prospects here. In the right situation, I mean, if you look back at his college tapes, even from his earlier playing days with Penn State before the 2022 season, he was going up against the likes of Chris Olave, Garrett
Mhm.
Wilson, and those guys played right away. And he held his own, if not, neutralized those wide receivers. Sure, they got theirs, but Joey Porter Jr. also got his in those matchups. So if he's able to go up against them and they translated to the NFL very quickly and easily. Wilson was one of the best one of the best wide receivers, period, this
Mhm.
past season. Olave, I think, was up and down, but he was definitely one of the better ones as well when he had his moments. And Joey Porter Jr. handled them 1 year behind in terms of eligibility, right? So if he can do that, then I don't think he's going to have any problem matching the speed of the NFL.
What's the thing he needs to work on most once he gets to the NFL? Is there a knock on him right now, or is something that he needs to develop once he gets to the next level?
Yeah, there's a couple things. You watch the tape, and I've heard various people break down his film, and they're absolutely spot on. The first thing that I think of is you look at the 2022 season, and he got his hands on the football 11 times with pass deflections. but that's it. He didn't have an interception. And that's an issue. You want to be able to, you don't want to have stones for hands, right? You want to be able to turn those plays into interceptions. And those pass deflections weren't exactly swats. They were passes that were at him. They were in his hands and he dropped them. So that's something that I know he's been working on in the offseason, because that's not his game. And because he had interceptions his sophomore year, and then there was just a little bit of a disconnect. I would also say speed. If a wide receiver does get a break on the line of scrimmage and they get past him, Joey Porter Jr. isn't exactly the fastest corner in this draft class and wouldn't be in the NFL, but I like his recovery speed. So I'm going to turn it around. The bad with the good is that his top flight speed isn't the best, but he's very good at recovering when he is beat. And he showed that at Penn. That's why teams just flat out avoided him, because it seemed like in the moment, our wide receiver easily beat him off the line of scrimmage. And Joey was able to recover no problem and make that pass deflection, or at least get his hands on the football.
Very good. We'll have to see where Joey Porter Jr. ends up. Locked on Nittany Lions will have you covered on all of that. Of course, this is all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.